I'm going to read from The Sea with No One in It. It's kind of, the poems are sort of unified by a connection to the sea or a body of water. Yeah, mostly. I'll read the title poem, which is in the middle, actually. It's number 11. It's better in the light. Today of all days, this is the sea with no one in it. Is this all it will be? Unable to dye all it touches in primitive ink. What could you give the sea but your stripes, since you ask, your war paint, your blindfolds, your appetite for westerns, in exchange for waves as wide as trains from the next frontier? 2. It looks like the ocean with its cargo of gunpowder and ash. Bottles the colour of bulls from another era. Longhorns moving ahead and not much else. Once it had been half man, half sea, unhealed yet unwounded by the greyest of steeples. I do not think of the deep. What has been worn will be worn again by sheiks. Why leave these shores when the rest of the waves will come to us? What more can they bring us, these waves, with their Formula One alligator instincts, but fast zippers and drop sheets that fall short of rafts? Today the fish are sober, underlined by other fish. Actuaries, surgeons, archers, they arrive in the order of fish. Again, no one is snorkeling in these seas. There are so many waves, it's hard to know where to begin. In summer, there are no holidays for fish. Maybe they take them in the spring. What better day to work as watchmen of 3 islands, turning to the 6th. And when they die among the stethoscopes, they'll find these shores have ribs. Still, they must have recollections of the steak of Africa, the broken comma of New Zealand. 13. The sea does not need lions in it, needless elephants and bears. From here there is nothing to behold, but the solitary cranking out of waves. Though speared, it has no enemies. It does not need ashes in it, seldom crosses, in some cases casks. The sea does not need 4711 eau de cologne in it, certainly no Bull Cream, all of Alabama or the NYPD. And I am sure the sea does not need Jack Kerouac to take a stab at it. The sea can do without gondolas. There are few gondolas in the sea. And you'll find enough stoushes without straits full of scepters. But most of all, the sea does not need the bestriped in it. Only one or more ships and contraband for the Midway Sea. So is everyone hearing okay? It was there all along, as if undiscovered, the modern sea, already alive, sawn off, craved by gravel, summoned by the populace that salvaged pendants from the surgery of tides. Even though it was the sea, it did not seem like it, nor did it seem like what it could be. It was not the sea I missed, on its way to another age. It has always been like the sky, on a day no one is born. It has become its counterpart, a half icon, as permanent. From where can it be seized? How should it be adorned? Now the sea has the likeness of the waves, and the waves have the likeness of the sea. Even when it's dark, it is still called the sea. You look at it as if it were not always there. It is almost always there. Always almost there. It will arrive in the ear of the train. When I think of the sea, it is never like this. Look at it as if it is all you will see. It is here because you thought of it, and because you thought of it, it is dynamite. How is it will always be where you were? A target at sea level is yellow, red, blue and white, the four colours left in the world, the one that does not turn in front of you or in any forest. As round as its boiled bright yolk is its sombre penultimate halo, still as a flat planet, inept cog, mod mainspring, stopped master clock. Throw no stones. Why wouldn't you slug it from afar with its very own hands? Mark your own time, the odd hours you keep, by their narrow accusatorial shadows. Now, they were all the sea poems. I'm going to read, because we're in a gallery, I think I'll just read all the, there's a lot of ekphrastic poems in the book, so I'm going to read all those now. This one is, well, it's self-explanatory, so I'll just read it. 20. World Worship at the Consulate of Jasper Johns. When this was a flag in a shoreless sky, all fields were states, or parts of the sea themselves, the sea of identical parts. And this was a rectangle before these were overused numbers. When this was the sea, there were as many stars in the fields as these targets, each one the roundest of fruit that was halved. You can't miss the sky, you can't miss the sea, the full-length numbers that died absent mountains, perhaps the unnumbered stars. What has become of the sky outnumbered by stars? What has become of the ocean outnumbered by waves? When this was a star, this was a shield, and this was a helmet, and this is a flag for an uncrossed sky. For Anselm Kiefer. You have given me a city without buildings, in a cold republic. All roads lie where they fell. Now even night would not surprise me. An airlift of shells. I will prove you have painted Nero's ocean, or a landscape raised for battle, in a season without opposite. We can lose track forever of a wave in the ocean, once yoked by planes that fly as low as yesterday. No doubt it needed ripe pineapples, this staid Riviera, and red figure crustaceans shot down from the sky. Here's the Philip Guston. This one has a title for some reason. Arrows for Stone Fruit. For Philip Guston. Did I leave the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art terrified of lemons when I imagined the artist as a boy of 10, standing there alone at the local grocer's, looking up at suspended scales loaded with fruit? Had his errand preempted the afternoon piece of pie he was taking his father? Pie that stained his hands magenta as he tilted its plate when wrenching open, somehow with small fingers, the door to the shed. I remember being menaced by a still life that day. That flamingo abattoir off Pink, hit and run double-decker of a bus by Philip Guston, born in Montreal, moved to California, finished up in Woodstock, New York, painter of cartoon Klansmen, distended bricks, light bulbs, an eye or two, paintbrushes, the undersoles of boots, the odd telephone and sandwich, plank, clock, and cigarette rolled into a snail. A man deplenishing his cornucopia of Jetson by depicting its contents as if fruit never existed except for a few pounds of cherries punctured by their own stems. Do you really want to see shoe soles on a table, a few feet away from a cigarette that's burning its way to the table's edge, or a grazed one-eyed kidney bean read Memoirs of the Damned, or almost mount a bottle of Beaujolais? Maybe a portrait of the artist in bed, smoking, eating, painting, with singed brushes dipped in rose water that smells of sardines, or a landscape painted with cold pig trotters, or an unravelled wire coat hanger dipped in valvoline, a besieged knoll of cherries, a sunburnt Ku Klux Klan carpool. Now that all that is pink in the world is alive, you never know when you will. number 30. I've never read this out before. Oh, actually once I did this. For the Hian Kori in the Acropolis Museum. Why think of her as the stranger she has become? Her crown has no star, nor does she reach for the sky, the sword, a tassel. Her right forearm, a severed tusk, taken with what she's offering.
Yeah.
This is a rain poem. It looks like it's going to rain. 38. The impish drizzle draws its trombone rail. Curious and shoulder steep, it laps at its epaulette straps. In pale balloons, the snails approach. No shelter from these shards. From fabled worlds, dense ground withholds the gamut of the stars. So I'll leave you with that.
Thank